Everything should be a family affair, but not in killing and murder spree. Today, we're going to talk about the Briley brothers.
We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at texasmobilenotarymindy.com. That's TX, mobilenotarymindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Me Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yes, today we're going to go to Virginia on this one, and we're going to talk about the Briley brothers. It's a weird one. So let's begin. Early lives, three brothers, the three Burley brothers, Linwood Earl, James Darrell Jr., and Anthony Ray, were brought up by their parents, James Darrell Briley Sr. and Bertha, in Richmond Highland Park neighborhood. Their oldest brother, Edward James Boot, was left the home to live with his relatives in North Carolina in his early teen years and was not involved with the younger brother's later criminal activities. With their younger brother, Anthony, Linwood, and JB were regarded by older neighborhood as young people who helped them repair cars or mow lawns. The brothers collected exotic pets such as tarantulas, piranhas, and boa constrictors. When the brothers reached their teenage years, Bertha and James Sr. split up and moved away. James Darrell Briley Sr., reportedly the only person the boys respected, kept his bedroom locked, keeping he kept his bedroom door padlocked from the inside overnight. Wow. The father was scared of his sons that bad. Well, the first murder was committed by Linwood at age 16. While alone at home, Linwood fatally shot Oriole Kristen, a 57-year-old neighbor, with a rifle from his bedroom window as she was hanging out some laundry on the clothesline. The crime almost went unidentified, but her relatives noticed a small blood mark under her armpit at the viewing and asked the funeral director to re-examine the body. Upon second examination, a small caliber bullet wound was discovered under her armpit. Standing in Christian's backyard, a detective used a sheet of plywood to represent her body. with a hole cut out to represent the wound. He determined that the bullet came from the Briley residence. There, the murder weapon was found, and Linwood admitted to the crime, saying, "I heard she had heart problems and would have died soon anyways." After his lawyer convinced the judge that the shooting had been an accident, Linwood was sent to a reform school to serve a 1-year sentence for the killing. JB followed in his own path, and a similar age was sentenced at the time of in juvenile hall for firing upon a police officer during a pursuit. Now, the murder spree in 1979, the three Briley brothers and accomplice Duncan Eric Merkins began a 7-month series of random killings that terrified the city and surrounding region. Their first attack occurred on March 12th, 1979, when Linwood knocked on a door of, I have to, Stephanie Hawkins, please help me out with this speech. Henrico County couple, William and Virginia Butcher, claiming that he had car troubles and needed to use their telephone. Linwood eventually forced his way into their home. He held the couple at gunpoint and waved Anthony inside. The two Briley brothers tied up the couple and robbed the house, dousing each room with kerosene after stripping it of valuables. As they left, a lit match was tossed into the fuel. The two hurriedly packed their stolen loot, a television, CB radio, a .32 pistol, and jewelry into the trunk of their as they drove away. William Butcher managed to free himself and his wife from their residence, which Merkins apparently had not tied tightly enough, and escaped just before the house became engulfed in flames. They would be the sole survivors of the rampage, although their cat perished in the blaze. Poor kitty. On March 21st, Mitchell W. McDuffie, a vending machine serviceman, was assaulted, shot, and robbed in his suburban home by the Burleys. 10 days later, on March 31st, Linwood shot and killed a 28-year-old Eric Alvin Clark over a drug dispute involving the Merkins. On April 9th, the brothers followed 76-year-old Mary Goldwyn across town from her babysitting job. They followed her into her house, beat, sexually assaulted her, robbed, and shot her. They escaped from the residence with many of her valuables. The gang saw 17-year-old Christopher Phillips hanging around Linwood's parking lot on July 4th, suspecting that he might have been trying to steal the vehicle. The gang surrounded him and dragged him to the near backyard. There, the three brothers wrestled him to the ground. When Phillips screamed for help, Linwood killed him by dropping a cinder block onto his skull. On September 14th, disc jockey Johnny G. Gallagher was performing with his band at a South Richmond nightclub. Stepping outside between sets for a break, he inadvertently came right into the hands of the Burleys. Having been looked around town for a victim all night without success, the Burleys decided to lie in wait for whoever may have been stepped outside. Gallagher was assaulted by Linwood and put into the trunk of an old leaking Continental. He was driven out into the ruins of a paper mill on Mayo Island, located in the middle of James River, where he was removed from the trunk of his car and shot dead in point-blank range. $6 was taken from his wallet, divided up, and Gallagher's body was dumped into the river. The remains were found 2 days later. When arrested months later, Linwood was still wearing the stolen ring from Gallagher's hand. On September 30th, a 60-year-old private nurse, Mary Wilfong, was found at her home in Richmond Apartments. The brothers surrounded her outside the door. Linwood beat her to death with a baseball bat, and the brothers then entered her apartment and robbed it of any valuables. 5 days later, on October 5th, just 2 blocks away Burley's home in 4th Avenue, 75-year-old Blanchard Page and her 56-year-old boarder, Charles Garter, were murdered by the brothers. Page was bludgeoned to death, while Garland was fatally assaulted and stabbed to death with various weapons, which included a baseball bat, 5 knives, a pair of scissors, and a fork. Sweet baby Jesus. The scissors and the fork were left embedded in Gardner's back. The victims of the final murders were the family of Harvey Wilkinson, a longtime friend of the brothers. On the morning of October 19th, despite having promised a judge earlier that day he would stay out of trouble and while out on parole. JB led his brothers on a prowl that night for yet another victim. Upon seeing the brothers down the street, Wilkerson, who lived with his 23-year-old common law wife, Judy Dane Barton, who was 8 months pregnant at the time, and her 5-year-old son, Harvey Wayne Barton, instinctively closed and locked his door. This action was noticed by the brothers, who had then walked over to Wilkinson's front door, terrified by their potential response if he refused them entry. Wilkerson allowed them in. Both adults in the home were overpowered, bound, gagged, and duct taped. Linwood then assaulted Judy Barton in the kitchen, where she was sexually assaulted within hearing distance of the others. Merkins continued the sexual assault, after which Linwood dragged Martin back into the living room, briefly ramming the premises of rummaging the premises of valuables, and then left the house. The 3 remaining gang members covered their victims with sheets. JB told Merkins, "You got to get one." Upon which Merkins took a pistol and fatally shot Wilkinson in the head. JB then shot and killed both Barton and Harvey. Police happened to be in the general vicinity of the neighborhood and later saw the gang members running down the street at high speed. They did not know where the shots had been fired. The bodies were not discovered until 3 days later, but the brothers were all arrested soon afterwards. During the interrogation by police, Merkins was offered a plea agreement in return for turning state evidence against the Brileys. He took the offer and provided a full detail of the crime speed. As a result, he escaped the death penalty and was incarcerated under an alias at an out-of-state prison after the Briley brothers were arrested. Under this agreement, Merkins was given a life sentence plus 80 years, which at the time of conviction would have made it eligible for parole for serving 12 to 15 years. Sorry, folks. A single life sentence with parole eligibility was handed down to Anthony Briley, youngest brother of the trio, due to his limited involvement in the killings because of Virginia's Triggerman statute. Really? Oh, hold on, everybody. Okay, I had to look this up. Triggerman rule is a criminal lawsuit statute that prevents people who were involved in a capital murder but were not the actual killer from being charged with capital murder. Okay. That kind of makes sense, but still. Both JB and Linwood received numerous life sentences for murder committed during the spree, but facing capital charges only in the cases where they were physically committed the act of killing of the victim. Linwood was sentenced to death for abduction and murder of Gallagher, while JB received 2 death sentences, one for each murder of Judy Barton and her son Harvey. Both were sentenced to death row at Mecklenburg Correctional Center in Bowton in early 1980. Now, Linwood and James Briley were ringleaders and 6 inmate escaped from Virginia death row at Merkins Correctional Center on May 31st, 1984. During the early moments of the escape, in which the coordinated efforts resulted in inmates taking over a death row unit, both Briley expressed strong interest in killing and capturing guards by dousing them in rubbing alcohol and tossing a lit match. Yes, rubbing alcohol is flammable. Loyal Turner, another death row inmate convicted of murder and execution by lethal injection on May 25th, 1995, stepped in and JB's way and blocked him from doing so. Meanwhile, Wilbert Lee Evans, a death row, after being convicted of the murder of Atlanta City Sheriff Deputy William Trudell, prevented Linwood from sexually assaulting a female nurse. Evans was executed on October 17th, 1990, despite pleas of clemency and confirmation from the McLaurin guards, who said they owe them their lives to Evan. Oh, man. Alexander Commonwealth Attorney John Clocks opposed the clemency, and the Democratic Governor L. Douglas Wilder, the state's first African American governor, only denied the clemency. I kind of feel I'll get to it after this. The group's initial plan was escaped into Canada. 2 inmates, Liam Davis Tuggle Jr., convicted of sexual assault and murdering 1 woman shortly after being released from another such crime, which he was executed by lethal injection on December 12th, 1996. And Willie Leroy Jones, convicted of 2 capital murders, convicted on September 11th, 1992, also succeeded making it as far as Vermont before they were being captured again by gunpoint by police. The group was held in Marble Valley Correctional Facility in Rutland, pending their execution back to Virginia, spinning off from their 2 remaining co-escapers at Philadelphia. The Briley's went to live near their uncle, Johnny Lee Consul, in the north of the city. They were captured on June 19th by a heavily armed group of FBI agents and police who had determined their location by placing wire taps on their uncle's phone line. In short order, the remaining appeals ran out for both brothers. Several weeks before his execution, James Briley married a writer who believed his claims of innocence. Even Longe Grant Redding on March 28, 1985, in a prison ceremony attended by his fathers, James Sr. The brothers were executed by electric chair in Virginia State Penitentiary in Ridgemont. Linwood on October 12th, 1984, and JB on April 18th, 1985 were all executed on those dates. Linwood's last meal consisted of grilled tenderloin steak, a baked potato, green peas, and a salad with French dip, roll with butter, cake, peaches, punch, and milk. Last words, I'm innocent. JB's last meal consisted of fried shrimp with cocktail sauce, lemon lime, flavored soft drink. In his final moments, smiled at the witnesses and twice asked them, "Are you happy?" Before JB was executed, Cheryl Barton Haynes, the mother of Judy Barton, pleaded for him to admit his guilt. She said she didn't believe in capital punishment, but asked him to confess so his soul would be right with God. The day JB was executed, fellow inmates trying to delay the process by attacking the guards with homemade knives. 9 guards and 1 inmate were injured. Linwood was survived by 1 son, Norman Licka Ampa, who later served time in prison for bank robbery and died in 2015. He is survived by a daughter. JB is survived by 3 daughters who lived in Richmond. The brothers were buried in Consul Family Cemetery plot in Bethel, North Carolina. Anthony Ray Briley was convicted of 4 counts of first-degree murder, 3 of those for the Barton family murders. He received a life sentence plus 119 years with the possibility of parole. Anthony avoided capital murder charges since it was not been proven that he was personally committed any of the murders. In his incarceration in Augustus Correctional Center, about 20 miles outside of Sudan, Virginia, to date, all of his applications for parole have been denied by the state parole board and have those of Duncan Merkins, despite recommendations from former prosecutor Robert J. Rice and Warren von Scotch, who have cited Merkins' assistance in prosecuting and convicted the Bailey brothers. Now, that is it for the Briley brothers. God, I keep on messing up names. But I'm honestly in the riot, what was his name? Evans. Uh, he did save a couple of lives and everything, and it is to be commended. But he still was judged by his peers, and I don't know, kind of the feeling of the person that actually put himself in harm's way to stave off other people. Now, saying that, I know a lot of people that are inmates and they do put themselves in harm's way. I mean, you did the deed, you still have to, you know, repent, I guess, would be the word. Or what would be the word? Yeah, I guess it's repent. But anyways, everybody, thank you all for listening. Thank you for all watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And we did an episode on charities, and I would like other people to go in. In all honesty, you don't have to go check out the whole entire episode. It's just me spouting off what these charity groups do. There are lists in the description of these charity groups, and you can go in and click on them and see what these people do, and see if you can help support them, or go out and help other people out. The whole reason why I try to support charities, I have to keep on talking about all these horrible people that they do horrible acts, and I want some good to come out of it. I understand this is the most WAPs episodes that we do, and yeah, I want people to do a little bit better, and hopefully they can uh get something good out of this to where they can help other people out. Because I know everybody that listens to these episodes aren't like diehard evil people. They're just interested in the darkness in the world, and they want to see mm, if something about it makes them that type of person. I guess I honestly I don't understand people with true crime stories. I mean, I'm interested in like mostly the mobsters stuff and everything, so I can halfway understand. But check out the charity groups on that episode. I'll leave in the description of one charity group that I found out. It's Soldiers Wish. Their organization that helps out the military personnel, veterans. So, anyways, everybody, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.